So now I've given her, no, she got confused with the light. There's
No!
Okay, so today we are doing a little experiment on our drive to work. We have the new 12.11 software update, and we've been playing with it a little bit. We've seen a lot of improvements in the navigate on autopilot, as well as the new stoplight and stop sign controls that are in the new software. So as we take off and head to work, we will be seeing the new advantages that we can get through the software update. So I am going to start the navigation and activate it. And we have a green light. So one flick of the control, and a little bit tough there, and I think I was holding on to the steering wheel too well. Too strong to keep her from engaged. So as we go to get on the highway here, we'll see some of the controls that we have in maintaining the lane. We have a couple obstacles on our way to work, and we'll see how the new update has affected those. Our first obstacle will be a merge from this highway to the next. So our obstacle with this highway is this highway, once it reaches the next highway, it has stoplights on it. So it prevents her from going into navigate on autopilot on this particular highway. But she does do autopilot just well, and we'll see how she works. Now, even though we're on navigate on autopilot, she is not going to make this merge onto the new highway because she can't turn, obviously, on autopilot. So the only interaction that I have to do is I turn on the turn signal right before the exit ramp comes for the highway. And along the side here, you'll see there's a solid white line, and she is not able to cross that. So if I turn on the turn signal before the dotted line comes, then as soon as the dotted line exposes itself, she'll check the lanes, and then she'll make the merge. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn on my turn signal now. It's still a white line, but as soon as she hits the dotted line, she checks, makes sure it's safe, and she makes the turn into the new lane. Now, this is the ramp that we've had trouble with for a long period of time because she does not like to slow down, and this is an extremely wide lane. So she has trouble maintaining a center because she's always jerked right in the middle of that lane. And under this new software, she was able to make that. Now she's on navigate on autopilot, so she's checking the lane. This guy is now going to be nice and let us over. So I'll give her the confirmation and she'll go. So now we can go up to our set cruise control speed and we are off and running. So a tremendous improvement in that merge, where she was fighting to find the lanes markers on the sides, and she would actually go back and forth once in a while abruptly on that entrance ramp to the highway. That one, she made it perfect. Now if we could just get her to adjust the speeds, we'd be a happy camper. That's twice she slowed down to merge over in preparation for this upcoming highway exchange. And we've got quite a bit of ways to go, but being cautious and pre-planning, she chose to slow down before she made her turn. So as we get ready to make this merger onto our new highway, her challenge in this one has been exiting the ramp onto and merging onto the new highway. She's not able to bring herself back up to speed as she merges onto the new highway and goes slower, and so the traffic that is coming up and allowing us to merge in, I'm assuming, is getting frustrated with us because it's taking her so long to get back up to speed. And once we get on this next highway, there is some construction going on in the bridge, and she makes the construction navigation part of it smoothly. However, when she comes out on the other side, the right lane becomes an exit only lane. She's trying to merge over out of it, but there's white lines that divide the lanes, and she cannot cross the white lines. So she panics when she gets towards the end of it and wants me to take over because she doesn't think she's going to have enough time, not realizing that the lanes have been moved over to accommodate the construction, and that they will move back and she will actually be out of the exit only lane once she comes out of the construction. So we'll see how she does with this new update of 12.11, and we have cars in front of us today, so she's being slowed down by the truck in front of us, which is allowing her to make this merge onto this highway nice and smooth. So let's see how she does here as she migrates back into the flow of traffic. She sped right back up, did awesome. Now, I'm not sure why she's wanting to move out of the lane where she can go faster into a slower lane, but she did. And now we begin the work zone, so we'll see how she does. Now normally she stays in that right-hand lane, and that creates the problem for her when she comes out of construction. But since she's moved over in this lane, she may be able to come out of the other side just fine. We'll look forward to seeing what goes on. It's always kind of exciting. You never know what she's going to do, because she's monitoring all of the pieces in this equation all the time, and by doing so it gives her a different outcome because the equation changes. So I've driven her enough now on autopilot to know that I can feel safe with her making her decisions, but it's interesting to see what she wants to do. Just as driving with a friend, they make different decisions than I would make. Doesn't mean I don't trust them, or doesn't mean I don't have confidence in they can succeed, but as long as these other cars stay in their lane, we should be just fine. Now you see these dotted lines, they're actually arrows going backwards. This is part of that monitoring the side traffic for her and slowing down if that traffic goes too slow for her speed. So this lets you know that she's monitoring that traffic, and sometimes you'll get braking in your travels simply because that lane has slowed down so much that as a precautionary measure for people jetting out from that lane, that they don't create a havoc like this car is doing. But if we were going a lot faster than they were, that would create a much bigger problem. So she, in her self-defensive driving, she monitors that speed of the traffic going next to you, and plays it safe. Let's see if she'll speed up to get over around this truck, but this truck in front of us is preventing her from doing so. There she goes. Now she can actually make a right-hand turn from this lane. Will she do it or not? Yet to be seen. And she did. So this is the other obstacle that we have with her on our way to work. As you can see, she's stopping now for traffic control. The vehicle in front of us will also bring us to a stop. But in this lane, there are no lane markings. There are no lane markings going forward. Now, before 12.11, she would attempt to do this on autopilot, and she would get out in the open space and have no lanes to guide her, and she would do the exact thing that you saw, and I would need to take over because she would have hit the median as we come out the other side. This is the first time that she's actually stopped and not let us proceed in autopilot. Now I did kick in the cruise control back in, the traffic assistance control. We will see if she's able to track this vehicle in front of us through this intersection. And once we go through here, you'll see why it's such a challenge, because it's such an open space. So now I've given her, nope. She got confused with the light. There she goes, and you have to be ready to take control. But now once she gets past there, she's just fine. And she can continue on. But because this road here has stoplights, she's not able to go to navigate on autopilot. So let's talk about the new visualizations. As you can see, the green lights are much more pronounced rather than a little dot that was in the stoplight before. Now it illuminates nice and bright. And so you can definitely see a difference in the stoplight configurations on the display. She gives you the 600-foot advance notice that we're coming to a stoplight. One of the things that I found has been helpful is I wait until she starts to slow down before I'll give her the confirmation to proceed through the intersection. If I give it to her too soon and the light turns yellow, she will, depending on how close she is to the intersection, will actually come to a stop in preparation for the red. But we have had a couple times where we've been close and it turns yellow and she makes the decision to go on through. So now I can give her the confirmation to go. And this new stop sign, stoplight software is working really well. There are a couple situations that we'll try to show you later on where she gets confused. I had an intersection yesterday or day before where the intersection was on a curve and the stoplights that were coming for the traffic from my left was actually facing us a little bit, and she was picking them up and trying to use them to control her progression. Okay, thanks for watching another video. We ask that you please subscribe and hit the like button. That way, as we come out with more videos of real driving situations, that you will be notified and you can see how to handle different intersections and different scenarios that your Model 3 Tesla can either make or have trouble with, and yet you'll be prepared. Real Life Tesla showing you the tips and tricks on how to set up your Tesla to keep you safe and enjoy the technology. We'll see you on down the road.